Okay, you guys, so we are back with another video. In this video, I want to advise you guys that most, if not all, of what I'll be saying is allegedly, so please take it with a grain of salt. Now, as you guys know, 50 Cent has released a docu-series about the life of Sean Diddy Combs. It is called The Reckoning, that was released on Netflix, and it has been getting major rave. The internet has been loving it, and everyone has been reacting to it. People have been making notes and doing their think pieces on it and all of that jazz. So as such, you know that it's a huge focus point of discussions for everyone, including from the average citizen to those in entertainment, those in journalism, to college students who are doing a lot of research. Some might be off and they have projects that they still have to work on during the holidays. So, you know, they have been making a lot of TikTok videos and, you know, giving their think pieces on it. Now, something is, pulling a lot of people's attention following this documentary. It was said somewhat a little before the documentary, but since the documentary, it's been said a lot more now, right? And what many people are saying is that Diddy's kids are involved in illegal activities, allegedly. So, in the documentary, there were moments where people have alleged that Diddy was in the room doing freak-offs, and one of his son would be by his side involving in freak-offs as well. Now, it was also said in the documentary, if you notice, the kids were around him through, everything, the last moments leading up to his arrest. Now, what they said in that documentary is that the mere fact that the kids were so unprotected around him during the last days of his moments leading up to his arrest, it really says a lot about the position of his kids. And as such, it was suggested in the documentary that the kids are involved in crime, and the father has been culturing them into his way of life, which is illegal activities. Now, as such, many people are paying close attention to that. And what is being said is wherein, if you guys can remember, the girls, the twin, they announced that they won't be going off to college September. They have launched their brand, and as such, they're going to focus on doing business. Now, I must say that that's not anything new. It is something that we've seen, especially in today's day and age where a lot of people, they're not going to college. They're focused on business. They're taking their college tuition and they're trying to make money, because what they look at is the fact that there's so many people using social media space and becoming millionaires overnight, while kids who go to college, they end up with huge student loan debt and being, hustlers, just working a 9-to-5. So some people are bypassing the route of going to college first. Some people are making the money so that they can transition into college life debt-free and more relaxed. And if they have a more relaxed frame of mind, then it would be easier for them to focus on their studies. So it's not anything new or surprising that the girls are doing, saying that they're gonna, go into business. But what the internet is alluding to is that the father was doing something, and they believe that the father was doing trafficking of substances and people, allegedly. Before his arrest, people believe that his handlers are keeping that part of the business out of the trial because it is their intention to discipline Diddy. So hence why they ensure that a lot of people were deleted. At least 4 to 5 people have died, allegedly. after Sean Diddy Combs' indictment. So what the internet is alleging is that the kids have now taken on the business, and it's why the girls had to launch their clothing brand to continue the trafficking line of business for the family to make money. Allegedly. It's all allegedly because there's no evidence or anything to back up these statements or to prove that any of these, think pieces are factual. But critics believe that the girls are, doing this clothing line to basically carry on in the line of their father's business, and the line of the father's business is allegedly trafficking. Now, I do remember this young lady from Soft White Underbelly interview who shared a story wherein she alleged that she met a prince and they were all at a house, and it was just a group of girls at the house and they would allow them to go shopping. But days before they were preparing to have them trafficked into other countries, they took them on a rather unusual shopping sprees where they could pick out anything. The cost of the item did not matter. And when she was brought to Diddy's house along with the other girls, she overheard a conversation on the phone wherein the other person, she said, it seems as though the other person on the other end of the line was like, these girls have to be down for whatever we're up to. And she was like, Diddy was reassuring them, yeah, they're up to whatever you want them to do. They'll be more than happy to do it. So the young lady said that she was 14 years of age, and at the time, she looks as though she could be in her 20s, because even if you look at the interview when she was talking, you would have to look at her face and you have to be like in tune to your parental instincts or your motherly instincts or your fatherly instincts to really look at that girl and say she's a baby. But predators, she would be an adult, but to the average citizen like you and I, we would see a baby in that girl. But she said, Diddy kept comforting her, asking her if everything was okay, but she knew that something was up and things weren't sitting right with her, and as such, she had to escape Diddy's house. She had to scale the fence and she had to, make good her escape, and she came back telling that story. So as such, the internet could be onto something, but then again, it is all allegedly because there's no evidence to back up the statement. But oftentimes we have seen Diddy's kids to really appear questionable. They're truly egotistic like their father, and they're walking somewhat in his footsteps so far. Now, the music industry is not what it used to be, but we see his son, we see King Combs definitely heading for the music industry, and he's just so much like his father, and the internet has seen this as well, and they keep saying it. And then we have both of them, King Combs, Justin Combs, name being brought up in these lawsuits of allegation that mirrors the allegations against their father. And now it's been alleged that the girls, their clothing line is being used for something nefarious. You have to wonder if there could be elements of truth in all of this, looking at everything that the father is about and just the things that we see where, those things, there's evidence to those things. It makes you have to wonder how much of this could actually be factual. And there has to be some amount of truth in all of it, but how much of it is factual? Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys have to tell me how much of it you think is factual. How much of it you think is factual, Do you think the girls are actually using that clothing line to traffic things and people? Leave your comment below. Do you think Diddy's kids are, carrying on his toxic legacy? Leave your comment below. I do believe that they are to some extent. in my opinion, to some extent. But leave your comment below. I want to hear from you. While you're at it, do all you need to do on this video to support your girl. Peace.